Volkswagen Arteon 2020 model, this one here. Client came to us with the issue of the system rebooting. It means he drives as normal, the system works, and suddenly it will just shut down and then it will restart. Go back to the main menu, work for a bit, then shut down again and repeat the cycle. And it just happens randomly. So it's not in any particular pattern or any time frame. It's just randomly it shuts down and restarts. Quite a common issue with Volkswagen Group vehicles. This system has MIB3 system. So what could be causing it? In this video, we'll be discussing this and showing you how we diagnose and repair this kind of issue. Let's get to it. So we're not sure I'll be able to repeat or actually get the system to actually restart for us as it's random, as we mentioned. So if I just try to start it up, it does come up. If we just it's loading at the moment, but let's see if I can get it working anywhere. There we go, we got it up and running. So at the moment the system is working absolutely fine, and let's just go to the main menu, show you here everything works as normal, and then randomly the system will just shut down, the screen will go black, then it will eventually pop back on with the message welcome to Volkswagen. It will restart, go back to the main menu, work for a bit, and then restart again. So as you can see, we are not able to actually recreate this issue as it's random. So it happens randomly, so I don't know how long we will have to record it to actually get it to show you what the issue is. So the rebooting issue, very common that we see across Volkswagen Group vehicles. This is we're talking Volkswagen, Audi, Seat, Skoda, Porsches, and so on. Anything that is under Volkswagen umbrella and shares the same platforms and so on. All these cars we see have this, comes with infotainment issues, and one of them is the rebooting. We see that quite a lot, and rebooting can be down to two systems actually. Either the infotainment system, obviously the infotainment system is rebooting, so it could be either to that the infotainment has a failure then and needs looking at, or it could be OCU, the emergency call function system. We've seen that as well. Sometimes when the OCU is faulty and developed faults, it can cause issues with infotainment. There are different ones. Could be causing the rebooting, could be causing restricting access to the profile, user profiles, can be restricting other functions on the infotainment system, could be crashing the system. We've seen different things that the OCU can actually cause. So once we identify which system is actually the one responsible, then we go deeper, and that is to identify what actually is the problem. And the issue that usually can be spread to two things, either the hardware or the software. And it's the same for the infotainment system or the OCU. If it's hardware, you can imagine car electronics live in a very harsh conditions. They go through hot and cold weather, moisture, rain, sun, constant vibration from the road, from the engine, uneven surfaces. All these things have effect on the electronics in the car. And if you compare that to like a TV that sits at home, which is nicely sitting on the TV bench or hung on the wall in a steady temperature, that TV can last much longer because it's not exposed to all these conditions. So car electronics, unfortunately, have to go through much harsher conditions, and therefore they do fail. Especially we see this after 3 years old, 4 and 5 years old cars, especially, we see a lot of failures. And it doesn't have to always be hardware. And actually, before we get the hardware failures, what they can be, we see dry solder joints, faulty chips, microchips, memory chips, connections on the boards. So obviously these are little computers, they have little circuit boards that control everything, and they just go wrong because they're exposed to all these harsh conditions. So we can see all these failures on the boards themselves. But if after we check and there is no faults on the hardware that we can see, then we move and check also the software, because that's another level that can fail. And obviously these systems rely heavily on the software. It's like they're just computers, so it's like your laptop or anything like that. If the system crashes, if the software crashes, then it stops working. It's the same thing, and it can get corrupted. The same like the computer can, from starting up and closing, opening and closing and so on. It eventually can crash from faulty software updates that can happen online when the vehicles, all the new vehicles are connected to Volkswagen servers online, and obviously the connection can get interrupted while, for example, the system is doing an update. It can crash from the conditions, heat and cycle system can suddenly overheat or something, crash, shut down, and then restart, and then it builds this crash in its eventually. That is just the bugs that build up in the system, prevents the system from functioning properly, so the software can also get affected. So pinpointing it takes time, but it can only be done through proper diagnostics, and that's the big difference, because the specialist will always check, will always go down to the board level to check all the electronics on the circuit boards, on the hardware, and they will also check the software to make sure if there's any communication problems or anything like that. When you compare that to main garages or dealerships where you go with your car for servicing, they are not geared up for doing any deep level diagnostics. They're just there to replace filters, change oils, do your tires, brakes and so on. And if you have problems with the electronics, what they do is they just connect a computer, read surface level information where they check what it says, and for example it might say no communication or system faulty. That's all they see, and then they just come and advise the system needs to be replaced, and they only offer full system replacement, which is fine. You can do that way, but you will then have your system fitted efficiently. But the problem is it comes at cost, and often it runs into thousands of pounds. So if you want to avoid having heavy bills like that, then the best way is to find a specialist that can do the proper diagnostics, and not just do surface level diagnostics, but they will go down to the board level and do the deep diagnostic to examine it, and they will find the root cause, and they will repair the system rather than replace it, saving you thousands of pounds and getting your system back up and running fully. And on this particular car, it actually you also get, when you connect the computer, you can see a sporadic fault that comes up and actually disappears, which says no communication. It's because when the system shuts down, then it loses the communication, but when it restarts, it regains communication, so the system the error disappears. So there is fault that you will see with the diagnostic computer will just show you sporadic error of communication issues. That's all it's going to say. So it doesn't really give you any information. So that's the real thing. So it's actually a guesswork here for most garages, because they would just probably pinpoint, okay, the head unit needs replacing, and they will just quote for it and then do it. But what if the OCU is faulty? Then you spend thousands of pounds and you haven't fixed the problem, because the OCU will be causing that. So this is the real issue that we see a lot, that the systems get misdiagnosed, and customers often come after already spending a lot of money saying the system has been replaced, but it's still causing these issues. What can you do, and so on. So we always encourage people to find the specialist and get it properly diagnosed, properly checked, because otherwise you might be you'll be at the wrong scale, where you'll be paying for heavy bills and not getting a resolved system. Now, this on the system, we already completed diagnostics on the hardware, and we know that the OCU, the emergency call function, has no issues either with hardware or the software. The system is absolutely fine. It's functioning correctly. Then we've checked the infotainment system, the 5F unit that lives obviously in the glove box. Usually lives in cars in the glove box. That's the one that is responsible to giving you all the information on the screen. And we found there's no hardware issue with that either. So that means the electronics are fine, but the software has glitches. And that's what's causing rebooting in this car. Right, in order to fix this software issue here that we have, we need to reload the operating firmware and update the infotainment system to the latest software. Now, the way it's done on this particular car, on this model here, it's done in 6 stages, each taking up to 45 minutes. So it can take up to 7 hours to do this whole process. And the process requires a stable voltage for the battery. So it needs to be connected to the battery support, and it cannot be interrupted in any way. You cannot open windows. You cannot, you shouldn't be playing with the car. You shouldn't be doing anything that could interrupt this, because if the interruption happens, you are risking system to crashing, which could break the unit, and it will just won't be recoverable anymore. So it's a very delicate process that has to be done in stages, in sequences. You cannot skip any processes. You have to go one by one to get to the right level. Now, once that is completed, then the next stage is the OCU, the emergency call function system, also has to be updated. And on this car, again, it requires several stages. It's actually 3. And once that's updated, then they will talk to each other properly. They have to be on the same level to be able to talk properly without any messaging and so on. So this is really important. So once we complete the infotainment updates, then we have to do the OCU updates. And when that is completed, then the system has to be commissioned online with the Volkswagen servers, and this is to update all the data sets for the vehicle and to re-enable online connection with the Volkswagen online servers, and to re-enable the user profiles. Otherwise, the system won't work fully. So even as you see, even reloading operating firmware and doing the updates on this system is not a simple process. It's not just a matter of putting in a new software update and pressing update on it. It's a process that you need to follow correctly. You cannot interrupt it. You need to give it the special conditions, which is the proper voltage support. It cannot be interrupted. And the main risk is during this process that you can break the unit, you can crash it beyond recovery if it's not done properly. And you also cannot skip any softwares. You cannot update random softwares. You have to do it all in order. Otherwise, it will not work. It will just, again, might not fix the issue or might even become worse. So it's very, very important to do it in the right order. Now, there's one more critical source in your car that can affect your infotainment system, and that is your car battery. In this video here, I talk about how the weak battery can actually affect your infotainment system, how you can prevent it, and how you can maintain it to make sure it doesn't happen. So if you want to learn more, click on this video here and watch that next.